Okay, folks, we are going to take and actually take the plasma cutter, and I'm going to try to cut right up that weld. If we can cut that weld, we should be able to get these pieces off. And I'm split them in half to where they're separate, so I can get in there to them. We'll see how that works out. Well, that sure worked good. I actually got that piece right off. We just, like I said, just cut right up the weld and knocked it off. And this is our original piece. We'll get it all back straight and grind it. Now we've got to try to cut up this weld. It'll be a little bit harder, but we can cut this out of our way. And then we can start straightening this front part of this frame out. All right, show you more. Okay, folks, I got all I could get done with a hammer and a chisel and plasma cutter. As you can see, got this side pretty good. It ain't done yet, but I've got to. She's sunk in here bad. So what we'll do is we'll get the porta power with the little jaws that push out. We'll put a board on this side, and we'll go in and push this, and maybe heat it and try to get it back out straight. And then we've still got to cut this off, but I didn't want to do it with the plasma cutter. I didn't want to cut through the frame. And then we'll get everything straightened out, weld the top of the frame right here. Let's get it all straight. We'll be ready for our horns on the front. This one's the same way, basically. Sunk in here, bent up here a little bit. But we can get all that back straight. You know, it's actually pushed it back just a little bit. So once we straighten it, it should pull it back around. And then we've got, like I said, one spot back here that's just in a little bit. And right here. So we'll go back in there and we'll put pressure on that and maybe heat it just a little bit, try to get it to come back in place. Don't like to heat a lot, but sometimes you don't have a choice. But anyway, it's getting there. But it's getting dark on me, and I've got to go do a tow, so I'll have to call it a night, I guess. All right. Okay, folks, I still don't have a whole lot of time in this thing, but I hadn't worked on it in a few days. Been really busy. So I got the porta power out, trying to get this dent out. I'll get this just as straight as we can get it. I've got a little bit more to cut off here of the old stuff, and then we'll grind it. And we're moving right along. We should have this done here shortly. And we got a little bit of straightening to do on this, where it's pushed in. It's pushed in at the top right here a little bit. So we'll get the porta power farther in there, start pushing this out, and tap on it, hammer on it. So far, everything I've done cold. You know, I don't want to heat it unless I absolutely have to, but you know, this is up here. It's not as structural as what, you know, behind the steering gear box or anything like that. But and then we still got this side to do, and it's, you know, it's bent back in about as bad as this one was. So we'll just keep at it, and we'll have it here shortly. Get all that, and then I still got to get my pieces cut off my my other uprights here that go on. And we can slice the welds on them. And like I said, this just goes back exactly where the other ones were. And I've got all my measurements and stuff, and I'll do some measuring and get it lined up. I've got my lines in. I've got my lower radiator shroud, fan shroud in, and I don't have my fan yet. They messed up and sent me one for a Hyundai. It was boxed wrong, so. Anyway, so we'll, not a big deal. We're not really ready for it yet anyway. So we'll get this radiator off and go ahead and get the water pump changed out, because I'm going to change it also. But we're going to keep at this and hopefully have this clip on today. All right, show you more. Okay, folks, we've gotten this one pulled out pretty good. Still got one little wrinkle there bothering me, and we can straighten it out a little bit more. But I mean, it's basically where we need it. Got this pulled out, and it's not bad at all. A little bit of a crack came around the weld, so I'll grind that and re-weld it. You know, we was pushing pretty hard on it, but that's pretty good, and you know, it's pretty straight. So we're working on this one now. I've got to get the rest of the horn cut off of it here, but we're trying to pull this, you know, get this dent out as good as we can here. So we'll keep at it, and I'll show you more as we go. Okay, she's coming out. We're doing it all cold. What I'm doing is putting pressure on it and hitting it with a hammer around the high spots, and it'll eventually bring it out. I need to go ahead and get this rest of this cut off. It'll actually make it easier to come out. One place we're gonna have trouble is about the same as the other side. There's a pretty good little dent up close to the bend here, but it's moving right along. So about out of breath here. Been hammering on it and cranking on it. Now I'm only using a 4-ton power fortifier, so if you had a 10-ton, something a little better, it'd probably pull out. I mean, it's a good one, but it's just not a real, heavy-duty one. But we'll get everything straightened back out. Now the frame's got to crack down the seam here, which is not a problem. We can weld it up and grind it. Not a big deal. And we should be able to keep at it and get this out. And I'm going to try to get that cut off now, so it'll be easier to work with. All right, show you more. That parts store been pretty fair dealing with me. I don't think it's gonna fit. All right then. Okay, folks. What I decided to do, I went ahead and bolted everything up on it temporarily. We'll take it all back off. The reason I've done that, I haven't put my horns on yet, as you can see. Got the frame done, but here's what I want to do. I want to put the brackets on the bumper, and I'm going to slide the bumper in place and then tack them on, because I'm not trusting my own measurements. Getting, from where the holes are to where the measurements, where I measured from, it's just being a pain in the butt. This was 6-cylinder. I done it on I took the measurements off the 4-cylinder one, and there's more stuff on the engine on the sides and stuff. So we're gonna do it like that. That way I don't have to worry about it being off. And so I'll go ahead and snug all this up, adjust it where I want it. Then I'll slide the bumper up on it with the brackets, and then I'll tack weld the brackets in, and then I'll take the bumper and stuff back off, and then go ahead and weld it in permanent. But the frame turned out, good. We got it good and squared off like we need it, back like it's supposed to be. So, once this thing's together, it should be right as you can get it anyway for what it is. I'm going to show you another thing here real quick. GM done on this. You can see this bolt hole slotted, and they're slotted forward and back too. Basically they've made this thing to where you can adjust it all over the place. But my worry was getting the angle of this wrong and making the bumper face up a little bit or down a little bit. And you could about see where it goes with the old welds, but I just didn't want to take a chance on it. So. All right. Okay. Might have to raise it just a little bit, but that's what I was trying to get was, the distance under the grill there. I just popped the grill back in, and so we'll get it. But you can see the reason I didn't pull the radiator out, all them puddles. We got transmission fluid on this side and oil on this side. That's why I waited as long as I could to pull the radiator. But yeah, we'll get the bumper exactly where we want it, and then I'll tack them brackets on, and then we can take it back off. We got a dent in the bumper there. I think I'm gonna go back and paint this bumper black instead of the color of the truck. So I think and we'll probably use like a rhino line or something. So we'll probably just lay this down and bring these dents back out as best we can, because there's one here and then there's two over here. And it won't look right if we tried to paint it blue with them dents in it. So we're not gonna worry too much about it. We still don't have a valance for the front. It goes under there. Which is no big deal, we'll get it whenever, but we'll go ahead and get these brackets tacked on. There's a lot of adjustment on that bumper. There's really no adjustment on the fenders, which it's not a problem, because it went on good. So yeah, everything's fitting together good. I think we're going to be fine here. Once I get these welded on, we can just start bolting permanent. I might shoot a little bit of blue on the inner fender well, or not the inner fender well, but around the hood place. It don't matter really. I'm just putting this thing together just to sell quick. It's not like may not even paint the front. I don't know. We're going to see as it goes. If I find somebody interested in it like it is, we're not trying to make a ton of money or nothing. We're just trying to fix it and turn it over. All right, show you more.